So that in general, your home exists to make your life easier, and that keeping that in mind is at sort of the front of any time that you're getting frustrated or you're annoyed with by the way that something is or isn't working, that these are also inanimate objects and you are in control. So like being able to take the opportunity to take a step back and think about what jobs you do in each space, what jobs each space needs to perform for you, and how you actually use the spaces in your home is a really, you know, that's not how people normally think about homes. That's the way that people think about offices and the way that they think about programming for bigger spaces. But when you think about your home from perspective of functionality, it can be a really good way to just sort of get to the bare bones of like what it is you're trying to do with the space that you have. And then you can kind of think about what you use daily and how, and having access to those daily items as you're below 14th Street. So all of those spaces that are at eye level to like hand level, that those surfaces are really, those are really, really valuable spaces. So having decorative items, souvenirs, mementos, books that you want to keep on hand, but you're not necessarily going to be referencing, that having those be sort of above above eye height or a height where you would bend down for, that being able to keep your items that you want to keep on hand, but you don't need on a daily or weekly basis, sort of out of those really easy spaces, is a really great way to make your life easier and more efficient, and have your space be more useful to you, because those are the spaces that are the most accessible. And if they're crowded with things that you only need once a month, once every couple of months, that you end up kind of playing Where's Waldo with your stuff, and that can be frustrating. And thinking about that and giving yourself like 10 minutes, if you do find yourself in a situation where you're frustrated by an area or an item, that taking a step back and spending 10 minutes on it, like, you know, making a note to yourself to come and spend 10 minutes on it later, or spend 10 minutes on it at the time, to just kind of think about like, how can I do this better? How can I take a look at what this space could be doing differently for me, is super helpful in terms of, you know, that this is the work of inches, that these are things that we have control over. And sometimes it's just as simple as oiling a hinge or moving something out of the way. Like that if you have a large box that you got that you haven't unpacked yet, and you put it in front of a couple of drawers, then that makes the drawers inaccessible, and just moving the box or unpacking the box can solve your problem. And that can be like a 10-minute solution to a really simple problem. You know, a lot of times with everybody getting so much delivery right now, that there might be a spot in your house that should be set up for the things that are coming and going, that normally we don't have so much coming and going into our homes because we're doing more outside of our homes. But having an area like that, it's like it's never the same river twice, but that job function needs to be performed somewhere in the house. So being able to just set up a space that's convenient for that can make a really big difference. And just, you know, if you are having something that's an annoyance like every single day, that taking 10 minutes to be able to undo that is an enormous return on investment in terms of that time. So like having one less thing that bothers you over the course of a day to make your life easier in this time, and in any time, is really a huge return on investment for 10 minutes. So that is a really good, you know, when you think about like, well, what's the point of spending a little bit of time on this kind of stuff? That's the point, is it's not necessarily about whether you're like, a big difference between how I talk about space and a lot of other people who are in sort of the world of like home organizing is that they talk about it in terms of clutter and getting rid of things and editing and all of that kind of stuff. But I think about it just in terms of like having your space function for you. So if you have a lot of things that are stored up here and down here, then that's totally fine. Like whatever works for you is totally great. It's just about being able to make a space function for you so that you feel really good moving through your space, especially during those times when you're waking up in the morning and you're going to bed at night. Like when you have those things in your routine, that having your space be optimized for those things that you do every single day really just makes your life, like that there's so much unexpected that happens on a daily basis that being able to have a space optimized for the expected can really make those bumps in the road go a lot more smoothly. So this is just generally combining the idea of like mindset, space planning, organizing, and habit change, in addition to thinking about like the ratios of stuff to the space that you're using so that it's super functional. And that those general concepts really, like when you mix all of those concepts together, you end up with a space that really works. And so that is when I'm working with clients in real life, that a lot of times I'll be working with people when they're, you know, where we'll be talking about something, or, you know, there's a lot of emotions coming up around objects and things like that. But at the end of the day, I apply all of these techniques to when I'm working with anybody on their space. So it's like it's like you can be going all around these various ideas and concepts and everything like that. But at the end of the day, you end up with a space that really like works for how you live and how you use a space, and then it just sort of feels comfortable because it matches how you live. And that if you understand these concepts, then you can do this for yourself with your home too.